Imagine a life where your biggest dreams are no longer just dreams, a life where the impossible becomes possible, where what you thought was out of reach suddenly seems within your grasp. Now, let me ask you this. What if the only thing standing between you and that extraordinary life is the way you think? What if the secret to unlocking your true potential, to achieving everything you've ever desired, lies in the magic of thinking big? We live in a world where small thoughts lead to small actions, and small actions lead to small results. But what if I told you that when you dare to think bigger, when you raise your expectations and your vision for yourself, everything changes? The moment you shift your mindset, you shift your future. So right here, right now, I challenge you to open your mind and embrace the idea that your life is only as limited as the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. Today, we're going to uncover the magic that happens when you stop playing small, when you embrace bold dreams, and when you take bold action. This isn't just about thinking big, it's about living big, and the time to start is now. Imagine waking up every day with a burning desire to create something extraordinary, to live a life that's not just average, but one that is full of purpose, passion, and power. Now, ask yourself, why shouldn't that be your reality? The first step toward achieving this life begins with one simple yet profound concept: thinking big. Most people settle for mediocrity simply because they've never truly imagined anything beyond what's right in front of them. They've become comfortable in their limitations and fears, unaware that their true potential is trapped by the small thoughts they choose to hold on to. But here's the truth: what you think about, you become. The most successful people in the world didn't just wish for more. They believed, truly believed, that they could achieve more. They allowed their minds to expand beyond the confines of their current circumstances and saw possibilities where others saw obstacles. The power of thinking big lies in its ability to stretch your vision and awaken a force within you that demands more from life. So let's ask ourselves this. What's the difference between someone who achieves great success and someone who doesn't? It's not talent, it's not luck, and it's certainly not timing. The difference lies in one critical factor: vision. The person who rises to the top has the ability to see beyond what is, and instead they focus on what could be. They see opportunities, not barriers. They look at challenges as stepping stones, not roadblocks. And most importantly, they have the audacity to dream big, even when the world around them tells them to stay grounded. Now, you might be wondering, but how do I start thinking bigger? It's not as complicated as it seems. The first thing you need to do is free yourself from the chains of small thinking. We've all been conditioned by society, by our upbringing, or even by our own self-doubt to believe that we can only go so far. Maybe you were told that your dreams were unrealistic, or maybe you've been knocked down so many times that you've started to believe that success is for others, not for you. But that's simply not true. The only limits you face are the ones you place on yourself. You are not defined by your past, and your potential is not determined by your circumstances. The magic begins the moment you choose to expand your vision, to think big. You must begin to shift your focus from what you can't do to what you can. Start by asking yourself this question every day: what if anything were possible? What if there were no limitations? What would you aim for if you knew you couldn't fail? When you begin asking the right questions, you start to unlock answers that lead to a higher version of yourself. You begin to realize that the limits you thought were there were only in your mind. The world is full of opportunities, endless, abundant opportunities. And those who think big are the ones who spot them before anyone else does. But here's the catch. Thinking big is not a passive activity. It's not enough to simply imagine a bigger life. You must actively step into it. When you think big, you start to challenge the status quo. You start to disrupt the patterns that have kept you stuck. And let's face it, disruption is uncomfortable. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, to cling to what's familiar. But thinking big demands that you move into uncharted territory. It requires courage to dream bigger than you ever have before and to act as though those dreams are already within your grasp. You'll face resistance, no doubt. People will tell you it's too risky, too far-fetched. And sometimes you may even doubt yourself. But here's the thing. The more you push beyond your limits, the more you expand them. The bigger you think, the bigger you become. So I ask you, are you willing to dream bigger than you ever have before? Are you ready to create a life that others can only envy? It's not just about achieving material success or fame. It's about living a life that aligns with your highest values and deepest desires. When you think big, you align yourself with your purpose. You raise your standards, and in doing so, you elevate everything in your life. Think of the greatest visionaries, innovators, and leaders in history. They didn't start with perfect conditions or unlimited resources. What they had was an unwavering belief in what was possible. They were able to see what others could not, and they believed in themselves when others didn't. This is the power of thinking big. It's the power of believing in something greater than your current reality. When you expand your vision, you give yourself permission to step into greatness. So right now, make the decision to stretch your mind. Refuse to settle for anything less than what you truly deserve. Your dreams are valid, and they are waiting for you to claim them. The magic of thinking big starts with one decision. The decision to believe that bigger is possible and then take action to make it happen. Are you ready to step into that power? You see, here's the harsh reality. Most people are walking around with a head full of limiting beliefs. These beliefs have been ingrained in us over time by our families, our friends, our society, even by our own past experiences. They are the invisible chains that bind us to mediocrity, holding us back from achieving the greatness that's already within us. It's not that you don't have what it takes. It's that you've allowed these limiting beliefs to define your potential. So let's take a moment and acknowledge something important. The biggest obstacle standing between you and your dreams isn't your circumstances, it's your mindset. The beliefs you hold about yourself shape every aspect of your life, from the actions you take to the opportunities you see, to the way you handle challenges. If you believe you can't, then you won't. If you believe that success is reserved for others, then you'll continue to live a life of limitations. But here's the game-changing truth. You have the power to change those beliefs. You have the ability to reprogram your mind to think in a way that supports your success rather than sabotaging it. The question is, are you willing to do the work to change? Let's start by looking at the most common limiting beliefs that hold us back. One of the biggest is the idea that we are not enough, that we lack the skills, the resources, or the intelligence to achieve the things we desire. How many times have you thought, I'm not good enough, or I don't have what it takes? These thoughts are powerful because they're based on a perception of reality that simply isn't true. You've been conditioned to believe that you must be perfect before you take action, that success is a result of inherent talent or luck. But the truth is, no one starts out with all the answers. Every successful person you admire has faced those same doubts and insecurities. What set them apart is not that they were born with some extraordinary gift, but that they choose to believe in their potential and take action anyway. Another belief that keeps people stuck is the idea that they need to wait for the right time. How many of us have said, I'll start when the time is right? But let's be honest with ourselves. There is no perfect moment. The right time to act is always now, waiting for everything to fall into place before taking a step forward is a trap. The most successful people don't wait for the stars to align. They create their own opportunities, often starting with nothing but a strong belief in themselves and a burning desire to succeed. Now, let's talk about the beliefs that hold us back from thinking bigger. Too often, we limit ourselves by focusing on what we can't do rather than what we can. We see obstacles and assume they're insurmountable, but every challenge you face is an opportunity in disguise. The only thing that separates those who achieve big things from those who don't is the ability to view setbacks as lessons, not roadblocks. If you want to break free from the change of limiting beliefs, you must begin to change the way you perceive challenges. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, ask yourself, how can I make this work? Instead of saying, I'm not smart enough, start thinking, I will figure it out as I go. The moment you stop letting your mind sabotage your progress is the moment you start moving toward your true potential. So, how do you start breaking free from these limiting beliefs? The first step is awareness. You need to identify the beliefs that are holding you back. Take a moment and reflect. What beliefs do you have about yourself, your abilities, and your future? Are they empowering you, or are they keeping you stuck? Write them down and really take a close look at how these beliefs are impacting your actions. The next step is to challenge those beliefs. Every time you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought, stop and ask yourself, is this belief based on truth, or is it a story I've been telling myself for years? When you realize that many of these beliefs are simply stories, you begin to see how easily you can rewrite them. The third step is to replace those old beliefs with empowering ones. Begin affirming your strengths, your capabilities, and your unlimited potential. When a negative thought arises, replace it with a positive one. Instead of thinking, I'll never be able to do this, think, I am capable of learning whatever I need to know to succeed. The more you affirm your new empowering beliefs, the more they become a part of who you are. Over time, those new beliefs will reshape your actions and your reality. But here's the key. Changing your beliefs isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process. Every day, you have to choose to believe in your potential. Every day, you have to challenge the negative thoughts that arise and replace them with thoughts that serve your success. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. The moment you shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility, everything changes. You begin to see the opportunities that were always there, and you start taking actions that lead you toward your dreams. And that's when the magic starts to happen. Are you ready to let go of those limiting beliefs and step into your true power? You've got the vision. You've broken free from those limiting beliefs that used to hold you back. Now the next step is where most people fall short. It's not enough to simply dream big or think bigger. You must take massive action. The truth is, action is what turns dreams into reality. It's what separates those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. So if you're serious about creating the life you've always imagined, it's time to stop waiting and start doing. Now, I get it. The idea of taking massive action can feel overwhelming, especially when you're just getting started. You might be thinking, what if I fail? What if I make mistakes? And that's a valid fear. It's natural to feel uncertain when stepping into the unknown. But here's the key. Taking action isn't about being perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about committing to progress, not perfection. Every successful person you admire didn't get there by sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect moment. They took action when they didn't have all the answers. They moved forward despite the fear and uncertainty. And you know what? They learned along the way. They made mistakes. They stumbled, but they kept going. And that's what made the difference. When you take massive action, you give yourself the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to course correct as you go. The truth is, most of us are afraid to fail, but failure isn't the enemy. It's a necessary part of success. You can't get to where you want to go without failing along the way. But here's the thing. Each failure brings you closer to success. It's through failure that you learn what works and what doesn't. It's through failure that you gain the wisdom and experience necessary to move to the next level. The key is to embrace failure, not fear it. When you view every setback as a lesson, it takes away its power over you. And that's when you're truly free to act without hesitation. But taking massive action isn't just about pushing through fear. It's about being intentional with your actions. You need to make sure that the actions you're taking align with your vision. You can't just throw yourself into anything and expect results. Successful people don't just take action, they take focused action. They break down their big goals into smaller, manageable steps and execute on those steps every single day. They're not distracted by shiny objects or quick fixes. They stay focused on what matters most, and they take consistent, deliberate steps toward their goal. This is where so many people get stuck. They're busy, they're working hard, they're putting in the hours, but they're not always working on the right things. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day hustle and forget to focus on the big picture. But if you want to achieve extraordinary results, you've got to be strategic. You've got to know what steps will take you closer to your goal and make sure you're spending your time on those. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that will move me closer to my dream? This is how successful people think. They understand that the road to success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing what matters most and doing it consistently. Now, this doesn't mean you won't face obstacles along the way. In fact, you will. Every path to success is filled with challenges, setbacks, and detours. But here's the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't. The ones who succeed are the ones who don't let obstacles stop them. They don't quit when things get tough. Instead, they ask themselves, how can I make this work? They find a way to overcome the challenges in front of them, even when the odds seem stacked against them. They understand that obstacles are just part of the journey, and that's what makes the destination so much sweeter. Taking massive action also means taking responsibility for your results. No more excuses. No more blaming circumstances or other people. Your success is in your hands. When you take full responsibility for your actions, you stop waiting for things to change on their own, and you start making things happen. You stop complaining about your circumstances, and you take control. And let me tell you, when you fully embrace that responsibility, that's when things really start to shift. Because when you take responsibility for your success, you stop waiting for permission to go after your dreams. You go after them now. Another important part of massive action is consistency. It's easy to get excited in the beginning and take a few steps toward your goal, but what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who don't is the ability to keep going when the excitement fades, when the momentum slows down, when the going gets tough. Consistency is what builds results. It's what creates breakthroughs. So even when things don't seem to be moving as quickly as you'd like, don't stop. Keep taking action every day, no matter how small the step, because over time, those small actions compound and lead to massive results. When you take massive, consistent action, you show the world and yourself that you are serious about your dreams. You demonstrate a level of commitment that most people never reach, and that commitment is magnetic. It attracts the opportunities, the people, and the circumstances you need to succeed. The universe responds to action, and the more you take, the more you receive. So ask yourself, are you ready to step up and take massive action toward your goals? The world is waiting for you to show up, and the time to start is right now. You've got the vision, you've reprogrammed your mind to think bigger, you've taken massive action toward your goals. But here's the thing. None of it will matter if you're not surrounding yourself with the right people. The people you spend your time with have a profound impact on your mindset, your energy, and your results. The truth is, you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to elevate your life, you must surround yourself with people who challenge you, support you, and inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're surrounded by negative, small-minded individuals? People who are quick to point out what's wrong, who thrive on gossip or complaining, or who are content with mediocrity. It's exhausting, isn't it? And before you know it, their energy starts to affect you. You start questioning yourself, doubting your goals, and shrinking back from the big vision you've set for your life. It's a cycle of negativity that drags you down, and if you're not careful, it can keep you stuck in a place of complacency now. Contrast that with the people who inspire you, the ones who push you to be better, who encourage you to step outside your comfort zone. These are the people who elevate your energy, who challenge you to think bigger, and who hold you accountable to your highest potential. These are the kinds of people you need to be around if you want to truly step into your greatness. Because the truth is, we are all influenced by the energy of the people we surround ourselves with. If you're constantly around people who are thinking small, who are playing it safe, you will start to adopt that same mindset. But when you surround yourself with growth-oriented, positive, and ambitious individuals, their energy becomes contagious. They help you believe in your dreams when you start to doubt yourself. They help you see opportunities when you only see challenges. And they push you to keep going when you want to give up. So, who are you spending your time with? Are they lifting you up, or are they keeping you where you are? I'm not saying you should cut people out of your life, but you must be intentional about the relationships you foster. If you want to grow, you have to seek out people who are already where you want to be, or who are on the same path of growth and improvement. These people will teach you, mentor you, and show you what's possible. And they will encourage you to believe that your big dreams are not only possible, but inevitable if you commit to them. But it's not just about finding the right people. It's about becoming the right person, too. The energy you put out into the world tracks the energy you receive. So if you want to be surrounded by successful, motivated individuals, you must first embody those qualities yourself. You must be the person who shows up with positive energy, who believes in others' potential, and who supports those around you in their growth. The more you give, the more you'll receive. And as you give that energy, you'll find that the people who match your energy will start to gravitate toward you. They'll see your passion, your determination, and your commitment, and they'll want to be part of your journey. Another important aspect of surrounding yourself with the right people is finding mentors. Individuals who have already achieved the kind of success you aspire to. A mentor is someone who has walked the path you want to walk and can provide you with guidance, wisdom, and insights that will help you avoid unnecessary mistakes. Mentors don't just tell you what to do, they challenge you to think differently, they push you to expand your vision, and they hold you accountable for your actions. Having a mentor is like having a shortcut to success. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, you just have to follow the proven steps that someone else has already laid out for you. But mentorship doesn't just happen by chance. You must actively seek out the people who can help you grow. It may require you to step out of your comfort zone, to reach out and ask for guidance, or to invest in learning from those who have the knowledge you need. The investment is always worth it because the lessons you learn will pay off exponentially in the long run. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to pay for the resources and mentorship that will fast-track your success. When you surround yourself with the right people, you also create a network of support. You'll find that there are people who genuinely want to see you succeed. They'll help you when you need it, cheer you on when you feel discouraged, and celebrate with you when you achieve your goals. This sense of community is powerful. It's easy to feel like you're alone in your journey, but when you have the right people around you, you realize that success is a shared experience. You can collaborate, share ideas, and support each other in a way that accelerates everyone's progress. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Who's in your circle? Who are the people who are shaping your mindset and your energy? Are they lifting you up, or are they keeping you small? If you want to achieve big things in life, you need to surround yourself with people who are also thinking big. You need to surround yourself with those who will challenge you, support you, and believe in you when you may not believe in yourself. The company you keep is everything. If you want to think big, dream big, and achieve big, you must surround yourself with people who will help you make that happen. Your future depends on the people you choose to have around you. So choose wisely and create a circle that inspires and empowers you to be your very best.